This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Jalani Tesfaye for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Ethiopia becomes Africa's top wheat producer. Rwanda exits Central African bloc over DRC disputes. Botswana cuts diamond output amid falling demand. Now the news in detail. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed disclosed that the nation has overtaken the status of the largest wheat-producing country in Africa, tripling Egypt's output. The Prime Minister stated that Ethiopia is producing wheat at an extremely large scale that underscores the government's focus on enhancing food security and self-sufficiency. Currently, Ethiopia has made wheat production a central pillar in its journey toward food self-sufficiency. Through the expansion of irrigated farming, the use of improved seed varieties, and the adoption of modern farming techniques, the country has significantly increased its wheat yield and marketable surplus, it was learned. Prime Minister Abiy confirmed that evidence on the success stories of Ethiopian wheat cultivation is pretty much clear. Responding to concerns about wheat imports and bread prices, Prime Minister Abiy stated, "When I took office, Ethiopia was spending nearly $1 billion each year on wheat imports. Over the past 3 years, that number has fallen to zero." Rwanda announced Saturday it is withdrawing from the Economic Community of Central African States, accusing the Democratic Republic of Congo of politicizing the bloc with support from some members. The move followed the ECA summit in Malabo, where Rwanda was denied its turn at the rotating chairmanship. Kigali called the decision a violation of the bloc's principles and cited past exclusion as further evidence of bias. Meanwhile, ECA's leaders backed the DRC's claim of Rwandan aggression in eastern Congo and postponed Rwanda's chairmanship pending resolution of the dispute. Rwanda denies supporting M23 rebels in eastern DRC, while the DRC continues to accuse Kigali of backing the group. Spain imported 188,076 tons of fruits and vegetables from Morocco in the first quarter of 2025, a 24% rise in volume compared to last year, reaching €481 million. Tomatoes topped the list, followed by peppers and green beans. Vegetable imports alone rose 34% year-on-year. Over the past 5 years, Moroccan imports to Spain have grown 20% in volume and 54% in value. Experts note that outdated EU-Morocco trade rules are contributing to the surge, making Moroccan tomatoes more competitive and displacing local Spanish produce. The East African community is actively promoting the region as a single unified tourism destination, the regional bloc announced in a statement issued last Saturday. The announcement was made during Karibu Kiflair 2025, East Africa's largest tourism expo, which concluded on Sunday in Tanzania's northern tourist city of Arusha. According to the EAC, the 3-day event drew over 500 exhibitors from more than 15 countries, as well as over 1,000 international buyers, trade visitors, media professionals, and tourism industry leaders. The ultimate goal is to enhance the region's visibility, strengthen its competitiveness in the global tourism market, and foster sustainable development and investment, it was indicated. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has outlined key priorities for the upcoming G7 summit in Alberta from June 15 to 17, where Canada holds the presidency. Carney's agenda focuses on 3 goals: strengthening global security by countering cross-border crime and interference, enhancing energy security and accelerating digital and AI innovation, and fostering partnerships to boost infrastructure, jobs, and open markets. Leaders from France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US will attend the summit, along with invited guest leaders observing from the sidelines. A global summit on the dire state of the ocean kicks off on Monday in France, with calls to ban bottom trawling and bolster protections for the world's overexploited marine areas. World leaders attending the UN Ocean Conference in Nice have been told to come up with concrete ideas and money to tackle what organizers called a global emergency facing the neglected seas. The appeal for unity comes as nations tussle over a global plastic pollution treaty, and the United States sidesteps international efforts to regulate deep-sea mining. On the eve of the summit, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said that the leaders must act now. The planet can no longer tolerate broken promises. Never in the history of humanity have we brought together so many people for the oceans, French President Emmanuel Macron said Sunday before hosting leaders for an official dinner.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Botswana will reduce its 2025 diamond production by 16% due to declining global demand and competition from lab-grown diamonds. Botswana, the country's top producer, saw revenue drop nearly 50% last year and has paused operations at key mines. With diamonds making up 80% of export revenue, the government is urging more local processing but may need broader economic diversification to recover. A new Boeing Open's new Top 737 MAX landed back in China on Monday, flight tracking data showed, a sign the U.S. plane maker was resuming deliveries to Chinese customers as Beijing and Washington eased their tariff war. Boeing, which halted deliveries of new planes to China in April as the world's two largest economies ramped up tariffs on each other, said at the end of May deliveries would resume in June after the tariffs were temporarily scaled back for 90 days. China represents about 10% of Boeing's commercial backlog and is an important and growing aviation market. Representatives of China and the United States will meet in London on today to discuss a trade deal. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That is all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.